What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, SWE is starting to give us some early little signals that it may actually be trying to break out sometime soon, and so I want to just give you a quick little update on exactly what you should be on the lookout for, what these signals are, and much more. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. And don't forget, my friends, if you do want to trade a little XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, SWE, and many more on all the way up to 500x leverage, you can check out that BTCC link down below. Guys, if you do sign up specifically with my link, they're going to give you a 10% bonus on all first-time deposits between $500 and $100,000. This means if you deposit $4,000, they're going to give you $400 back on the spot to start trading with, and whatever profit you make from that is completely for you, no strings attached. You can withdraw it, reinvest it, do whatever you want with it. This is literally an opportunity to make free gains during a bull market on a very good platform, so don't miss out on something like that because I don't know how much longer I'm going to have it, so feel free to, again, go check that out down below. So before we talk about what is going on with SWE right now, let me kind of give you a quick little recap of what we've been tracking so I can lay the land a little, paint the picture a little bit. So as you all know, SWE obviously made that initial run to the upside, pushed all the way up towards $4 and did a good job. From there though, it did hit that Fibonacci extension level and decided to pull back a bit as the bulls were taking some profits, allowing our indicators to reset. At the bottom side of that descending channel, I told you all, hey listen, descending channels are the easiest thing to make money in. You just buy in the green box, you buy in the bottom half, and you just wait. And usually 85% of the time you will make money. Now what we saw of course was SWE's price start breaking towards the upside, and we laid out the 3-step confirmation system in which we had step 1 back test, step 2 clear here, step 3 clear the golden zone, all of which SWE's price did, then leading its price upwards. From there we did see SWE's price reach that $4.50 level before pulling back a little bit, retesting that golden zone to flip that resistance point into some support. After flipping that point of support or that point of resistance into support, we obviously got the more recent rally from SWE in which its price pushed all the way back up towards that $4.91 level, leading us into where we have been over the last week. Now, over the last week, quite simply what we've seen from SWE has been a very similar pullback off a fib extension level. As you can see here, SWE's price cleared this golden zone and went directly up to its 1.272 Fibonacci extension level before running into some resistance. Now, as we started running into this Fibonacci extension level, I told you, hey listen, there is a very, very decent sized chance that SWE's price either pulls back or cools down here, so don't be shocked or surprised if it does happen. Well, we started to see it happen, right? We saw SWE kind of pull back test, try to flip that resistance into support, and it did a good job right here, but it didn't fail again, came back down, ran into a more micro support level, came back up, ran back in towards that resistance, leading us into really today, in which we're still sitting in this little range. Now, as we've been sitting in this range though, we have again started getting some signals that SWE could be looking for a breakout sometime soon. So I want to tell you exactly what I'm looking out for, what I'm seeing, and much more. And so now that you have a good recap of what we've been up to and how we got here and what we're looking at next, let's go a little bit deeper into, of course, what we can be expecting going forward. Now, I will give you a bit of a warning. Some of the things that I'm about to say may get a little bit complicated. And so if you are somebody who is new to the space and you're just trying to figure this whole crypto thing out, or maybe you're an advanced investor, but you're starting to try to add more tools to your toolbox, all that I ask from you specifically is to just stick around until the end of the video. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can join the Discord community, where we have an insanely big community right now, over 1,000 members that are generating hundreds of percentages every single day. So if you're somebody who wants to take your game to the next level, again, all that I ask from you is just to stick around until the end of the video. So again, now that you have a good understanding of what's been going on, let's zoom into SWE a little bit more right here and get a good understanding of what's happening now. So what we can see is that SWE quite clearly has established a range. Okay, we have the clear range to the top side, resistance to the top side at $4.87. Not only is it just the Fibonacci extension level, but it's very close to the $5 level, which is going to be a psychological level. That is going to be a hard level to clear. To the bottom side, we have the previous all-time high back around $4.50, another psychological level and a key level of support based off of the previous points of resistance that we had here. So what we can actually go ahead and do is just draw in these key levels of support, which is going to be basically right here. Boom, let's go ahead and get that sideways. And then of course we have our key level of resistance, which we can draw in right there. Boom, now let's actually make the resistance green. So if we do go ahead and get rid of our Fibonacci's now, what you can see is that we have a very identifiable range. We have resistance to the top side and resistance to the bottom side. And one of the things that I love about situations like this is they're very easy to predict. There is about an 80% chance that you can predict what to do next pretty accurately, maybe even higher. I would say even 85% during a bull market. The easiest thing to do during a situation like this is to not do anything. And I know how boring that may sound, and I know how annoying that may be, but quite simply, the best thing to do is nothing. The reason that I say that is because oftentimes the direction that this thing breaks out is the direction it will continue to go in. So what I mean by that is in an instance like this, the likelihood is that if we see it lose support, it's very likely going to continue back downwards, especially after a fake out. Because when you have a fake out below a key level of support that then gets recovered back into, if you lose that support again, trying to recover again right here, oh man, that's difficult. Now, there is the idea that macro structure could get created in that sense, but that's much more uncommon. That's very, very unlikely. It would take a very bullish move to make that happen. So what this means is that in an instance in which we do lose this red box, the likelihood is that we're heading back down towards $4.23 to $4, and that could look like a pretty gnarly move from here of anywhere from 12 to 15% to the downside. Now, on the flip side of things, if you do get the move towards the upside, the likelihood in a scenario like this is that you will continue upwards. Not only is it just a breakout of the range, but you have to remember that we also have that macro Fibonacci zone. And if we're capable of clearing the 1.272 Fibonacci, the likelihood is that you're heading back up to the next one, which is the 1.618 Fibonacci at $5.42. In an instance like that, that means that we could have a pump of anywhere from 10 to 15%. So what this means is that both of these different ranges have opened up the door, or will open up the door, for a 10 or 15% move. If we break the green side, we're likely headed up 10 to 15%. If we break the red side, we're likely headed down 10 to 15%. So knowing that it is some sort of a 50-50, why in the world would you do anything now? Just let it happen. See what door opens, and once that door opens, walk through it. It's very, very simple. Now, in a moment like this, though, I will say that the odds are shifted in the direction of the bulls. I would say what is usually a 50-50 in a range like this, in a moment like we're in right now, would probably go up to like 60-40. 60% chance we breaks to the upside, maybe higher. Maybe higher, especially if Bitcoin doesn't get rejected. Maybe higher, but we'll just be a little conservative, say 60% to the upside, 40% to the downside. The two primary reasons that I have for saying that are the fact that Swee's price is in a bullish run. So, right, we're in a bullish micro trend, bullish midterm trend, and bullish macro trend. And so knowing that the general trend is upwards, it is more likely and it is easier for it to go upwards. On top of that, we are also starting to get some bullish signals from our more micro charts. If we do look at some of the things that we're seeing here, we did get that 50% retest. So of course we saw Swee's price come back down towards this 50% threshold. And what you'll come to notice is that historically there are many moments where we'll bounce off of this threshold towards the upside. We've seen it over and over and over again. So knowing we did hit a key level of support, I would say that is a rather strong reasoning to believe that we could get a push upwards. On top of that, we are also seeing some bullish intertwinement from the MACD. The MACD did get separated to the downside when we saw this push downwards, but it did recover very well, and now it's starting to intertwine. Generally speaking, intertwinement can usually lead into a continuation back in the opposite direction. So you're going down, you intertwine, you continue upwards. And so in a moment like that, I actually do really like that a lot, and I think that's a very bullish sign in itself. If we do pull up our Bollinger Bands, one thing that you can see here, let's see if that's going to load. Yep, there we go. What you can see is that we actually saw Swee's price come back down to this 20 simple moving average, and it held it very well. Now, that means that if we can hold that support and continue upwards, we're in a good spot. The last time that we held support like that was back here. We came up, we came down, hit that 20 SMA, we continued to pump. Who's to say we can't see something very similar here, giving us the breakout to the upside? All these things are telling me that it is a little bit more likely that Sweet breaks to the top side of this range than the bottom side. So in my opinion, I think that's a very good sign. And so obviously, although I am not 100% sure, and I am just speculating, I do think that it is worth preparing for that move. My general thought process here is that if we see a daily close above this green box, I might open up some sort of leverage long trade with a very tight stop loss set right back around $4.83, somewhere right around here. And the reason being is because if we break out and we get the daily close, at worst, we'll come back down and back test this level and still be able to continue upwards. If its price does come back into this zone and we get a fake out here and a fake out there, that's not good. That's a sign of extreme volatility on both sides. That's double-edged liquidation, and I don't want to be a part of that, so I'm not going to be a part of that. And to be honest, I mean, if I am going to open up a leverage long trade here on this breakout, it wouldn't even be a big one, quite frankly, just because we are so high on SWE right now that going long on leverage, you're just taking a risk of being at the top and buying the top. But I would be willing to do a little bit because I do like buying on breakout, so I would be willing to do that. Now, if SWE's price at any point does pull back towards the red zone or below the red zone, I actually will be adding to my spot DCA bag. So I have plans of buying SWE one way or another, just the way that I do it would be different. If we break the green zone, leverage long trade, tight stop loss just in case I'm wrong. If we go down, spot buys into my DCA bags, expecting us to be able to then use that support to try to continue upwards in more of the longer term. And so because of that, that's my strategy, but I am liking what I'm seeing from SWE right now, especially over the last 24 hours. So I wanted to share that with you today. The best thing that you can do, and your homework for me today is assign your resistance and assign your support and just watch them very closely. The best thing to do, in my opinion, right now is to sit back and do nothing and allow these things to play out. Let's see what happens to the top side. Let's see what happens to the bottom side. And then once we get some confirmation, then we'll know what to do. So, of course, I wanted to just give you that update, but watch this very closely. Make sure you do your homework, and obviously we'll continue to keep track of this thing as it does get closer and closer to breaking out. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if you are someone who is simply just trying to get better at this whole crypto thing, no matter whether you're a beginner or whether you're advanced, I want you to check out Tyler Hill's Crypto Vault. This is a platform that I released, which goes over more stuff than I've ever seen in one place, and we are seeing people generating more gains than I've ever seen before. I mean, we saw this guy, Sosa Aces, coming through with an $11,000 gain on a long trade on XRP. I mean, it's absolutely insane what we're providing here. I mean, let's just go through it a little bit. So there's obviously insights with Tyler. These are just my general thoughts and insights on the market. Also, some of the things that I'm doing. For example, just yesterday, I told people, look, I'm seeing a bunch of hate comments about Solana. The pessimism signal's flashing. I'm buying more at $214. Now Solana's at $226. You know, just things like that where I'm seeing them and I'm just sharing them with them. Of course, we have some daily live shows. We have Crypto Vault Live. We have Q&A with Cade. We have Fridays with Frank. We have daily technical analysis that goes out, daily fundamental analysis that goes out. I have a professional team of traders that I've hired that are giving their buy and sell signals every single day. And remember, this is a company whose business relies on them making good trades, and they're giving you their daily buy and sell signals. Absolutely insane value. We have TA deep dives, very, very, very good deep dives for our executive members on, you know, things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and much more. We have some executive classes on things like liquidation data. We have, of course, just your typical premium classes, which come with, you know, the power of on-chain analysis, the Bollinger Bands, the Fibonacci's, and much more. We have tips with Tyler, which are these 2 to 3 minute long videos, just going over random things. We have beginners courses, 30-minute videos with 20-page presentations and vocabulary and cheat sheet on things like leverage trading and technical analysis and much more coming very soon. And then, of course, we have the fantastic community, which again has been absolutely smashing it recently, putting in gain after gain. I mean, I can just for a quick second just scroll through all of these gains, and the craziest part is this is just in the last couple, like 2 days, 3 days, we're seeing hundreds of percentages and gains from these guys over and over and over again. And so again, if you're somebody who wants to be a part of this, if you want to take your game to the next level, you can do so by using that Patreon link down below. Guys, there's a couple options for you. There's $5 a month, $17 a month, which is the cost of a Netflix subscription, and $100 a month for those of you who are much more advanced and you really, really, really want to elevate. But if I'm you and if you're just like kind of basic beginner, maybe a little bit more intermediate, $17 a month. It's the cost of a Netflix subscription. Very, very good package there for you. And so look, I think it's extremely valuable. And if you do agree, again, go check that out down below and let me know what you think. But of course, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Remember, I'm trying to post 4 or 5 every single day. So if you have been enjoying them, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel down below so you never miss another one. And I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.